to Medica Nova Wellness Studio. I'm Dr. Angelika Maria Koch with the educational videos about optimal health and the most innovative and holistic approach to your well-being. Lately I got quite a few inquiries about skin ailments like psoriasis and hives, and as I recently already made a video about scalp psoriasis, I thought let's focus on hives today, also called urticaria or nettle rash. Well, mostly hives are an allergic reaction, and I don't know about you guys out there, but I'm slowly starting to get allergic to this current world situation and its mounting challenges, but let's stay positive. So in this video I share with you how you can tackle your hives with natural and effective therapeutic tools, so enjoy. To stay updated with more ongoing videos, I encourage you to subscribe to my channel, share and like it with your friends and family, and don't forget to click that bell as it notifies you every time I upload a new video. If you want to learn more about my work in Medica Nova, have a look at my website medicanova.net at the online academy, where you will find comprehensive certified home study online courses in integrated mental health, health coaching, homeopathy, quantum healing, and so much more. And if you're interested in a consultation, either for yourself or your children, contact me at health@medicanova.net. So what are hives? Well, if you ever had a swollen, red, bumpy, itchy thing on your skin, you probably had, hives during the course of your life, and most often they're due to some type of allergic reaction. Sometimes hives can indicate a life-threatening allergic reaction, but in this video I want to keep it simple. We just talk about acute hives. How do you get hives? Well, hives are not something you can get from anybody or from anything. It's rather your body's response to something you had either ingested or you experience. So the causes of hives can vary. It can be food, it can be medication, it can be infection, and it can be stress. You might be surprised to learn that stress is one of the most common causes of acute hives, along with allergies and infections. Hives can literally occur at any age and anywhere on the body. It's estimated that 1 in every 5 people will be affected by a hives outbreak at some point in his or her life. Urticaria hives are these red bumps. They suddenly appear on the body. Do they itch? Oh yes, they itch, absolutely. And they have this burning sensation. It really is different from a sting. It has this really, it burns throughout your body. And what do they look like? Again, they can vary depending on the cause and also the susceptibility of the person. So you can have this, pale or dark red bumps. They can be tiny, they can be large, or they can be interconnected. They can merge together and create more sort of a flat erased patch, even up to the size of a dinner plate. How long do they last? Again, that can vary. Mild hives can appear, suddenly and be completely gone within minutes. Other times, hives can last for hours or even weeks. One says if it's, less than 6 weeks, we still talk about acute hives. If it's longer than 6 weeks, then we talk about more of a chronic condition. In rare cases, again, hives, so-called angioedema, can be an early sign of anaphylaxis, but of course, in this case, you need immediate medical attention and go to hospital. But in this video, I want to keep it, as I said, quite simple. So what are the symptoms? Well, you have swellings on the surface of your skin. It can be red or skin-colored welts. They call them wheals as well. They have quite clearly defined edges. They can be round, they can be oval. As I said, they can get bigger, they can spread or join together. They can change in shape as well. They can disappear or reappear within minutes or hours. You know you have hives if you can press the center of the wheel down and it becomes white. We call it blanching. Definitely huge itching going on. And the hives, as I said, they can appear anywhere on the body, especially usually on the trunk, the thighs, I would say, the face, or the upper arms. What are the causes? Again, it can vary so much. Overall, it's a typical allergic reaction to something. And the allergy can be, as I said, from food, from medication, from stress. And when your body is allergic to something, what happens there in the body, a high level of histamine or other chemical messengers are released into the skin. And these substances then cause your blood vessels to open up. And that's what causes this pinkness or this redness and this swelling. There's also extra fluid in the tissues, which causes this itchiness and this swelling. As I said, an infection or emotional stress can also cause hives. So when hives are caused by an allergic reaction, your skin can break out within minutes and to the exposure of the allergen. And what could that be? Well, let's look at some certain foods. Have you ever heard about somebody who said, oh, I can't eat shellfish, I'm going to break out in hives? One of those. Shellfish. It can be nuts. I had hives when I was a teenager caused by nuts. And for years I couldn't eat anything which contained nuts, chocolates, anything. I would break out in hives. So can be anything. Can be milk, can be eggs, can be some fruits even. I would say definitely medication, and especially antibiotics or non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs like aspirin, penicillin, even over-the-counter like Motrin, Aleve, and all of that could, or blood pressure medication can really create a sudden reaction. If you are allergic in general or have seasonal allergies, right, and you're allergic to pollen, to grass, or you had your allergy shots, could be one of those, then some people are very sensitive to contact. So it could be like animal dander, it could be pets, could be latex, plastics, right? The sky's the limit here. That's really confusing, of course. It could be an insect bite, it could be a sting. You know, some people who do excessive exercise and sweat a lot, hives could come up with on that, which is really unusual. It could be infections, as I told you about. It could be from glandular fever, mononucleosis, Epstein-Barr virus, autoimmune diseases, thyroid disorders, lupus even. All that can cause hives. Now, environmental factors, if somebody is sensitive to exposure to sun, to cold weather, and even to contact with water, it can create hives. And that's why you need a personalized, individualized treatment here, because the causes are so varied. I also mentioned stress. Stress and anxiety is a huge part here. Then excessive, pressure on the skin could also be part of that. And as I mentioned, genetics, hereditary angioedema. Again, it's a rare inherited disease, but I want to mention it here. So hives resulting from physical causes like pressure, cold, sun exposure, they're all called physical hives. Now, heat urticaria or heat hives are caused by this increase in body temperature, and that can be from a hot shower, a hot bath, exercise in the gym, right? Even from spicy food. Anything which produces heat within the body can bring on hives. Sometimes hives occur due to unknown causes, and we call this idiopathic urticaria, and we just don't know, right? So even, babies get it. And that's really difficult because you really don't know what's going on. But in my experience, if children get hives, it's usually related to food allergies. So look out for that. Before we go into the natural supplements and the homeopathic remedies, I want to give you a little bit food for thought again, more the metaphysical symptomatology about hives. Now, there's always a story behind the physical symptoms and the expression of the body. And as I mentioned, stress is one of the major causes for hives. And I want to give you some thought, some inspiration maybe, what is behind this reaction of your body. What are you allergic about in your life? So according to Jacques Martel, Urticaria again is characterized by the appearance of red patches on different parts of the body. These slightly bulging patches cause intense itching, and urticaria is due, as the case may be, he said, to a food intoxication related to taking medications or other substances, but this condition may be aggravated by stress and tension. So let's talk about what this might be. He said, I may be feeling overwhelmed. I'm doing a lot, but what I do is not recognized. I need the attention of others, but I can't stand their criticism. If I'm suffering from urticaria, I'm quite probably a hypersensitive person who is experiencing much rejection. I don't like the being that I am, and my fear of being hurt is so strong that in order to be loved, I do things based upon what people expect from me. My fear of being rejected becomes real because I reject myself. I often have the impression that people want to get rid of me and out of the way. My skin, damaged by these red patches, makes me feel ugly and undesirable. I'm like an animal marked with a branded iron, and I'm dependent on my owner. As I live according to others, I refrain from doing things for myself. I don't dare carry out new projects, which further increases my feeling of helplessness. I resent others and hold them responsible for my plight. I feel separated, even torn from someone, and my integrity is affected. However, I want this separation because in this way I avoid complications and confrontations. So something in your life is getting to you and you're allergic to it, and rather than confronting it, your body is now expressing something, right? It's saying, I don't like this, but I don't want to talk about it. So what is the positive affirmation? It says, I accept to be the ruler of my life. I become the most important person for me. I move forward and I trust myself. I accept to be up ahead and interacting with others. And I have all the qualities needed to be a good leader. So urticaria is really about, getting yourself back on your own throne, right? Becoming your own self again. Not being allergic to everything around you or the people. So I hope that gives you some kind of inspiration just to look a little bit behind why is this happening. So when we go into the natural protocols, in general, externally, you don't want to have a shower or a hot bath with hives, especially with children, right? Because it makes it worse. You also want to have loose clothing, not tight-fitting clothing, because it rubs against the skin and just makes the itching in general worse. You definitely want to have an allergy test, right? Allergy testing can reveal your hives triggers, which you then can avoid as much as possible and can get sort of greatly, you just prevent the likelihood of another undesirable hives rash. keeping a food diary, I think, is really important here because it helps to pinpoint any food allergies. Externally, you want to use an oatmeal bath, really soothing here. So you want to get maybe a cup or two of organic uncooked oats and put them in a stocking or cheesecloth and put a sort of rubber band around it so it doesn't leak out, and then hold it under the running water in your bathtub, and so the oats sort of infuse the bath water with this soothing, substance. It's really nice. It calms the skin eruptions, but don't make the water too hot or too cold because it aggravates the hives again. I also love baking soda. It's one of my favorites, all-time healer. So get maybe a teaspoon of baking soda, get some water, make a little paste, and dab it onto the affected area, let it dry, and then wash it off. Do it several times a day. That helps with the itching. Another one of my favorite is witch hazel. You can get it in your health food store. It's a great external application, and it's cooling. Oh my God, it's so great. I usually use it for hemorrhoids as well. But it's a skin healing liquid. It's great antioxidant and has astringent properties. Astringent means it pulls it together. It's just calming and cooling. That's what you want. When we talk about supplements, in the body, if you have an allergic reaction, and I talked about histamine is released, which is really also from a weakened liver, I always think about quercetin. Quercetin is a natural antihistamine and an anti-inflammatory. It prevents immune cells from releasing more histamine, which causes allergic reactions like hives. Also use it with seasonal allergies. Quercetin is wonderful, so bring in that. Evening primrose, to calm down the skin. And because the immune system is here also affected, and the liver, you want to boost up your immune system with vitamin C, I would say vitamin D3, maybe some vitamin B12 as well. Want to bring in anti-inflammatory agents, which would be here omega-3, which would be fish oil. So all these supplements could be really, really helpful. So think about quercetin in particular. Now, with that combo, homeopathic remedies and your supplements as well, your external application, I think you have the best success here. Now, homeopathy here especially can create definite and instant changes. That's where homeopathy really shines with urticaria. It's instant, it works greatly. But the idea is here that you find the most indicated remedy to your specific symptoms, and that's the key here. Otherwise it won't really work, or it's only a little improvement. But as with all of my videos prior to that and now, I always focus on the remedies you can purchase in your local health food store or even online, so nothing too complicated. Remember, always contact your healthcare practitioner or contact me at my website medicanova.net or my email health@medicanova.net. I'm happy to help, of course. In an acute attack, I would say get the potency 30, so you have the name of the remedy and behind the name is a number, usually 6 or 30, in this case 30. It's the strength of the remedy. I would say take it every 1 to 2 hours till improvement sets in. For adults only, of course. For children, maybe once or twice a day only. Now, if you have a more chronic condition, I would say 1 tablet daily for 2 or 3 weeks. But of course, then contact your healthcare practitioner. But I think homeopathy is really the answer. It's because it acts very fast. So what are the symptoms? Well, one of the remedies is called apis, and apis is made from the bee. And we talked about with urticaria that there are different kinds of expressions, and with apis is the swelling. So everything swells. Different parts of the body can swell, right? It could be your lips start to swell, right? And this is very specific here. Lots of swelling. And the sensation is severe burning, as well as the stinging pain that's worse from any warmth. It can be warmth from the bed, warmth from a shower. There's circumstrites, or we call it sort of a round swelling, which may be red or pale with violent itching. The patient has no thirst, which is unusual actually, and the slightest touch can cause itching and burning. Heat is intolerable. They can't take any heat whatsoever. And as I said, it could be also caused or aggravated by exposure to heat in any kind of form. Right? It can be the sunshine, it can be the warmth of the bed, as already mentioned. Urticaria is also caused by insect bite, a bee sting. Remember, the urticaria looks a bit like a bee sting, right? You have this erased bump, and it's swollen, and it's red, and it's itching, and it's burning. So think about apis. If apis doesn't work, think about the next one in line, which is called Urticaria urines, which is actually made from nettles. And Urticaria urines is another excellent remedy for urticaria. It's almost, the names go hand in hand here. But this medicine should be tried when apis fails. And in urticaria urines, the symptoms are similar to that of apis, so there's a lot of swelling. But look out, because the person has more frequent urination. They need to pee more, right? And also, the urticaria has a periodicity here, so appears every year, every season, right? That's very urticaria urines remedy. Intense burning, and again formication on the skin, and it also alternates with rheumatism. You know, historically, when herbal medicine was more in our days practiced, so to say, I remember, because I'm originally from Germany, they used sort of nettle branches and just hit it on the back of the affected person for rheumatism to sort of, hit it out. And yeah, it was kitchen pharmacy, but it worked. So if you ever see urticaria in combination with rheumatism, then think about urticaria urines as a remedy. It's also a great remedy if you have allergic reaction in hives from shellfish. There's another one, Arsenicum album, which we talk about in a minute, but urticaria urines, if you have a shellfish reaction and hives are coming on, think about that. So the keynote is also with these hives, this particular hives, as soon as the person lays down, like goes to bed during the night, oh, it's gone, it's all good. Waking up in the morning, boom, the hives come back, right? That's a keynote as well. So you see, hives are difficult to treat in a way because you need to know what triggers it and also what are the specific causes, right? What is it? And then if you know it, then you find the right remedy, you catch it. You have 100% cure here. I mean, sure, I can't guarantee it, but in my experience, I've seen it many times. The next remedy I want to share with you called Rhus Tox 30. The extended name is called Rhus Toxicodendron, but for you it's just Rhus Tox. Again, we have this red swollen skin with itching, burning, smarting a little bit. So it's sort of, smarting means there's something coming out. Or occurs when it's here better for warm. So it's completely opposite from apis. Right? Rhus Tox is better for warmth, better for heat. Throwing off the clothes aggravates the burning and the itching. And here the main cause is that they get urticaria after getting wet. So it could be from walking in the rain, right? We talked about contact with water. And it's also a great remedy indicated if you ever had poison oak, right? Infections like you poison oak, you get in touch with it and you get this herpes-like eruptions on the skin. You know, Rhus Tox is the magic remedy here. Now, we talked about also from environmental changes. As I said, getting wet, cold weather that can bring up hives. And this remedy here would be dulcamara. It's very specific, triggered from exposure to cold air or dampness or wet weather. It also is an urticaria which occurs over the whole body with intense itching and burning after scratching. It is again worse from warms and better from cold. It would be like apis, not like Rhus Tox. And dulcamara is effective when urticaria again arises from this cold air, like dampness and wet weather. Females can get it around the menstrual period here as well. And usually it's also triggered by sour food, right? Very specific. We talked about also exposure of sun, right? If you are out walking on the beach and suddenly by the end of the day you start having hives. The remedies for this would be Natrium muriaticum or Natrium mur. Very specific remedy for hives triggered by exercise, right? Excess perspiration, exposure to sun. And here the hives get quite large, you know, big wells on the skin from exertion, is attended with violent itching and burning, and the eruptions are red and we call it oedematous, which is very swollen. And it can be even related to constipation a little bit. The skin can be oily or greasy even. And the eruptions are mostly on the bends of the joints. So it could be the elbows or behind the knees or the margin of the hair. So if you are sensitive to exposure to sun, right, you walk on the beach and, you know, suddenly this is happening, think about Natrium mur. I think it's a great remedy for this. I also talked about exposure or touch with water, which is really unusual, don't you think? You know, I mean, you have to be hyper allergic and sensitive to your environment not to stand water, but there's a remedy for it called Bovista 30. This remedy you won't get in the health food store, you would have to order it online. It's effective for urticaria, which is resulting from coming in contact with water. Now in Bovista, urticaria comes usually on waking in the morning, and maybe there's a little bit diarrhea involved, so the digestive system is definitely affected here as well. But it's a perfect remedy if you get hives from touch of water. Our last two remedies, one is called Sulphur. It's a general sort of skin remedy, and the main, you know, keynote here is itching. Itching, whatever it is, eczema, psoriasis, whatever it is, it's itching. But here with hives, again triggered by exposure to heat, intense itching and burning. And the scratching makes it even worse. It's, you know, you want to scratch till it bleeds. It's that bad. In some cases, even washing may worsen the itching. I would say with sulfur, you know, the hives come on after a hot shower, contact with water again. But also, it's a great remedy if you had hives in the past and then suppressed them with hydrocortisone cream. So the whole symptom went inside the body and then it suddenly comes up again. Sulphur would be a great remedy because it works for skin eruptions which were suppressed in the past. So our last remedy is called Arsenicum album, and it's similar to urticarians, where the causes of the hives are based on shellfish or food poisoning, right? And here the person is extremely anxious. They want to get rid of this immediately. They're restless, they pace about, do something, right? And the wheals itch and burn intensely. People are extremely restless, as mentioned. And, you know, it could be again caused by being at the seashore, but definitely food poisoning or shellfish, so think about it. So if Urticaria urines doesn't work, go into Arsenicum album if you know your triggers. So I hope this introduction to natural and effective therapeutic tools gave you some hope and inspiration how to heal your urticaria. Leave your comments below because I really want to know about your successes, right? And thank you so much for your comments lately. I got so many inquiries, and it makes me feel good too, because I'm talking to this camera and I don't even know who is listening or who's picking up this information, and so it gives me a good feedback. This work what I'm doing is purposeful, and it helps you out there, so thank you so much. Now you can contact me at health@medicanova.net or at my website medicanova.net. Until next time, much love, take care, and don't be allergic to this world. All right.